This photo really quickly. See that woman in the plaid? That is Maya Thompson. She will be joining me in about 30 seconds. Wanted to show you this preview. I had given you guys an update, a little overview of Maya Thompson's story, but once she joins us on screen, you will get the story straight from her. Just give me a minute and we will be live. Hello, Maya Thompson.
Hi.
I'm really excited to have you. This is something where, after Monday night's Taylor Swift concert, I came into this newsroom. I was telling everyone about her performance of Ronan, and I went to Christine. I was like, "We have to do this story. We have to profile it." It was beautiful, and I know this is something that goes back a few years now. Your relationship with Taylor Swift, but viewers, if you missed the introduction earlier, basically on Monday night, Taylor Swift was here in town. Well, she was here Monday and Tuesday,
Right.
performing at the Gila River Arena, and you were in attendance. Taylor Swift had written the song "Ronan" about your son, who passed away from cancer in 2011, right?
Right.
And it's just this really beautiful, emotional song. She had only performed it once at the Stand Up to Cancer event that was on all over TV, and then she performs it on Monday out of nowhere. Talk about that experience and just how that was like.
So we were basically invited to her concert on Monday night and went out there, just kind of not knowing what to expect. We usually see her when she comes out for concerts, and she's always very gracious with her time, but I just never want to have my expectations at a certain level. So
Right.
I just assumed we were coming to the concert to watch like anybody else, but as soon as we got there, we were kind of whisked away to like the VIP area to sit with her parents, and her parents are always so fun and sweet and kind, and just had a blast talking to them. And then before the concert, Taylor asked to see us, so we went backstage and hung out with her for a little bit, and she did her normal just thank you for coming, how are you guys, just chatted away. And this was just a few minutes before she was supposed to go on stage to perform this huge concert.
Right.
So said our hellos, goodbyes, and then went back to watch the concert. And we were sitting back there, and I was, dancing with my little 2-year-old daughter, and I felt somebody tap me on the shoulder, and it was Taylor's tour manager. And I think at this point, she was probably about 4 or 5 songs into her concert.
Right.
And our tour manager goes, "Taylor wants to know if it's okay if she sings Ronan tonight." And I started bawling and said, "Yes, of course, yes." And it just kind of happened very organically and came from there.
Right, and viewers at home, if you have not heard Ronan, I suggest you do. You download it. All the proceeds go to help fight cancer, right?
Yes.
And it's a beautiful song lyrically. Like, you listen to it, not gonna lie, every time I hear it, especially the second verse, I have to cry when you listen to it. It's just such a beautiful song, and it's just amazing. So let's rewind a little bit how it all kind of came to be. So your son Ronan was diagnosed with cancer in 2010.
Yeah, he was diagnosed in 2010 with stage 4 neuroblastoma, and just out of nowhere. No symptoms, was a completely healthy kid, and then one day his left eye started to droop a little bit. So I took him to my pediatrician, and then we went to see a children's ophthalmologist, and then we were sent to have him looked at a hospital.
Right, and then, you tried everything you could, and unfortunately, he wasn't able to make it. But you were documenting all of this through your blog. I'm going to pull that up here right now, rockstarronan.com. And I read you posted yesterday, and it was sort of, you write to Ronan almost. Is that how it works?
That's always kind of how it's been, really, I guess. Before he passed away, I was just writing about what was going on. And then once he passed away, I was kind of at a crossroads as to how am I going to continue writing this. And so the only thing that felt natural to me was to continue writing it, but talking to him.
Right.
So
I mean, such a beautiful child.
Thank you.
A few people are already asking questions. Wow, amazing. Taylor seems like a genuine, sweet person with a big heart. Bina chiming in. Eduardo asking what age he just died a few days before turning 4 years old, right?
3 days before his 4th birthday.
Wow. God bless them. We take our health for granted. And that's sort of the thing. I mean, you don't realize that something as terrible as cancer can hit someone at such a young age. Before Taylor had performed this song on Monday night, she prefaced it. She made this beautiful statement about how brave it is for someone to go through something so painful and yet still be able to share that with the world in reference to your blog. And it's just, she also went on to say how she would have not known anything about childhood cancer if it wasn't for you and the Ronan story. For me, it's just amazing. How does it feel to know that you had that kind of influence on the world's biggest entertainer?
I mean, I'm just incredibly thankful that she was brave enough to listen to my story, because it's not an easy story to listen to. And the world of childhood cancer is so dark and scary, and the way it's portrayed is not real at all. You know, these kids are given horrific treatments and statistics and odds, and, you know, tell me how it's acceptable in this day and age that children that are diagnosed with cancer are given adult hand-me-down chemos. I mean, that's appalling.
They don't have the proper treatment for children.
No, because, you know, we don't want to take the time to spend the money and do the research on these kids, which is just unacceptable in this day and age.
That's awful. That's awful. Rachel has a question for Maya. How do you feel about, it's kind of the question we just had. How do you feel about such a huge star writing such a special song about her little man? I send my hugs and prayers and love. Rachel has a 4-year-old son right now. Yeah.
I mean, I think Taylor Swift was, you know, the right person to take on this cause. She's doing it from such a pure place, and everything she's doing is coming from her heart, and it's not being forced, you know, or shoved down her throat. And I mean, she's the biggest celebrity in the world, and look, she could have taken on any cause, any cause that, you know, this is not the cool thing to take on. This is not the easy thing to take on, but the fact that she did, because, you know, it means something to her. Like, she could have easily just taken on something very safe and wrote a big fat check and called it a day. But she didn't, and that speaks volumes about her character.
And when she was up there speaking on Monday night, you could see the tears, you know, in her eyes. It was just this very emotional, sincere moment. And I think so often you see people in the celebrity spotlight who don't reveal that true sense of themselves to the public. And she just, you know, bared her heart, because her own mother was diagnosed with cancer recently, and it's, you know, it's a hard thing to deal with, as you know. And I'm actually really curious as to how Taylor Swift stumbled upon your blog to begin with.
I asked her that.
I'm really curious.
I asked her that a few years ago, because I didn't know either. And she told me she thought that one day she just saw his picture on Twitter and was just so taken aback by his...
Like someone had shared it on Twitter.
Yeah, and was so taken aback by how beautiful he was and his blue eyes. And so she was curious about who this little boy was and clicked on his story. And that's, you know, like I said, it all came very organically and just magical. It's kind of magic that just happened.
Right, and there's his picture right there on the blog. And viewers at home, you go to rockstarronan.com and you can read through everything. And you've been keeping this up now for
since he was diagnosed.
5 years.
2010.
Yeah. Wow. And now you have the Ronan Thompson Foundation in his honor. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, the Ronan Thompson Foundation was started right after he got sick. And, you know, I really just started it as a way to, I just said, at the end of the day, no matter what happens with our situation, some good has to come out of this.
Right.
And for me, it's, you know, it's my way of still getting to be his mom, is by, you know, helping these other kids and doing these other, you know, doing good for other people, and, you know, the awareness and all of that. But, you know, I never want another mom to have to go through this again. And if my story, you know, spreads the awareness and saves a few lives, like, you know, that means everything to me.
You know, I'm looking at the website now for the Ronan Thompson Foundation, and just some of these statistics. Pediatric cancer only receives 3.8% of all cancer research funding. And it's just,
I mean, there's
awful.
46 kids diagnosed every day, and every day 7 of them die. Every 16 hours, a child dies from neuroblastoma. It's the number one disease killer of children.
And you're right, we don't hear about it a lot.
You don't hear about it.
You don't. And I wonder why that is.
I think, like I said, it's just very...
difficult to talk about, maybe?
Yeah, but it's just a very dirty secret. It's like these kids... It's just too horrific. Nobody wants to imagine this could happen to their child. Nobody wants
because you don't think about life like that. You know, a child is born and you kind of envision their whole future ahead of them. You see them going through school and adulthood, and that's what you just assume. And even people growing up, you know, in your teens, in your 20s, you think of yourself and you think that you'll live to your 70s or 80s or whatever. And there are people, you know, that are teenagers in their 20s that also get diagnosed with cancer. And I think we all forget the fragility of life and just how nothing is guaranteed. And, you know, I don't know if it's just, it's at random. It's not like you can predict who is going to have this and who isn't.
There's no I mean, you can't. And it's something that needs to be talked about more.
Right.
Because these statistics and odds need to change.
I know a lot of people getting pretty heated up in the chat room. Eduardo saying, as mentioned before, I did my research project on cancer and concluded that the cancer industry is ridiculing us and they keep more than half of a portion for themselves. This is complete bullshit.
Don't get me started on that. I mean, so my foundation, I don't take a salary.
Right.
Nobody on my board takes a salary. All of our money goes to fund research that is saving the lives of kids.
Right.
Like, I don't have an overhead. I have an office that is donated. I mean, you hear of all these huge charities where the CEOs are taking $400,000 a year.
That's insane.
It's insane and it's sick. And you know, I've just always felt very strongly of I will never take a paycheck from my foundation, ever.
Yeah.
Like, all of our money is going to go to clinical trials,
Right.
and research, and you know, the best doctors, and you know what is out there now that's new and exciting, and it's going to change and save these lives of these kids.
Right. I know there's a tab on your Ronan Thompson Foundation website about neuroblastoma. I'd like you to elaborate more on it. Is this something where could you have detected it any earlier? Could things have,
No. So they call it's the deadliest childhood cancer, and that's one of the reasons why, because there are no symptoms. So he was stage 4, and like I said, we had spent the entire summer, he was running around like the most healthy child.
Right.
And out of nowhere. So it's you know, like I said, it presented with his left eye drooping, and it turned out he had a huge mass in his abdomen.
And you wouldn't have been able to find
No.
that out earlier.
No.
It's just so awful. Joss, who just actually gave birth last week or earlier this month, look at those eyes. What a beautiful little baby boy. Joss saying, I'm having anxiety just thinking about my son dying at that age. My heart goes out to you. I donate here to the Ottawa Children's Hospital every few years. Maybe it's time I do it each year. Little college shop. I worked at a cancer hospital in Norway for a year when I was really young. The saddest, but still the best place I've ever worked. So close to such a horrible, terrible disease. Rachel wants to know, what can I do? How can we balance out the funding for our kids to be given a chance? Rachel is local. She's in Glendale.
I think you really have to be careful of where your money goes. You know, you have to do your research on where you're donating to, and pick a charity like us that, you know, like I said, all of our money goes to exactly where we say it's going.
Right.
And, you know, that every little penny helps us. I mean,
Right.
we have raised almost $1 million. And that, you know, that's been able to do so much good for these kids.
Right. I'm sure a lot of people have been reaching out, especially after Monday night, because I think the song Ronan, I guess, got back into the public spotlight, you know? So, I saw so many different articles being written about Taylor Swift's performance and her emotional speech. I'm hoping that helps the Ronan
everybody
Thompson
buy the
Foundation.
song, Ronan, please. It's
Right.
such a beautiful song.
It's so pretty. And she played guitar during the performance.
I know. I never thought she would play that song again. Never.
Right.
I've been watching her on tour this entire time, and so
Right.
she's been bringing out special guests,
Right.
every night. And
Right.
I have 12-year-old twin boys, so every morning we're always like, "Did you see who Taylor brought out last night?" It was Lorde or Lena
Julia
Dunham,
Roberts.
Julia Roberts. Never in my wildest dreams did I expect that her special guest would be my son Ronan.
And it was, I think, it was the most perfect thing. And I noticed how the audience was just so silent. And I know at least for me, I had tears in my eyes. I'm sure other people did. I know some of Taylor Swift's people, and I was emailing back, and she was just like, when I watched the video, I was crying too. It was just, her music does that to people, and she does a very good job of telling a story so authentically through her lyrics.
Yeah, she
you
does.
can kind of envision the whole story.
Incredible.
Oh my gosh, so many people getting very heated about the
I'm heated
the
about
industry.
it.
The cancer industry makes me so angry. I've heard that too. You don't want to believe it because medical professionals can't make as much money from a child as they can from an adult.
Exactly.
Is that what it
Yeah,
is? Kill
it
people
is.
with corporate greed? I don't think there is anything. It's so terrible. I didn't realize.
You know, the timing of what Taylor did on Monday was really serendipitous as well, because September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month.
Right.
So, I mean, it just...
Are you guys doing special things during that month? To
I
try
go
to-
crazy during this month. So we're kicking off our campaign that we started last year called Be Bold, Go Gold. And, you know, we're just kind of finishing up the details of what that means. Last year it came just so quickly, but I basically covered myself in gold glitter from head to toe and ran around like a crazy person. It's just like getting the awareness out there of
In any way you
gold
can.
is the color for childhood cancer
It is.
awareness. We have our annual gold party on September 19th at the W Hotel.
Here in Scottsdale?
Here
Oh, we
in
should.
Scottsdale.
We need to remember
So
that.
I know. So we've got a ton of stuff. I mean, September was really busy for us. And it's,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the fact that this all happened, you know, in August,
Just
right
weeks
before
before, yeah.
September. It's just, like I said, very serendipitous. And I feel like it's going to help us with the awareness for the
Right.
month of September.
Eduardo, thank you, Maya, for staying real, unlike these huge foundations. Maya, your strength and fight is admirable. Halala chiming in. Halala asking, would this be detected through an examination of the back eye? Neuroblastoma? No?
No, it wouldn't.
Wow.
No.
IC11's any news regarding the Empire State Building going gold in September?
Oh, I can't cuss on air, can I?
Certain words you're allowed to say, but they're more moderate, the middle
I'm
range.
not very happy with the Empire State Building. So we did this whole thing of, you know, they light up for every single cause out there.
Right.
And I'm sorry, but some of the most ridiculous causes, like a release of a CD or
They light up for that.
or a Disney movie. But they can't light up gold for childhood cancer. So we sent in an application, and not just me, it's been several childhood cancer charity organizations.
Right.
Filled out the appropriate application, denied. So basically they refused us last year, and I got on my blog, had hundreds and thousands of people write letters to say, why would you do this? And they basically just refused to take on this issue.
And you're trying again this year, or is it just...
We've submitted another application, and just they keep denying us.
Do they give
basically.
reasoning?
I know their reasoning, because it's a money thing. It's a, you know, there's not enough money behind this.
Behind childhood cancer?
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand. Are they getting paid to light up a certain color? I don't understand how hard it is for the Empire State Building, like you said, that light up for, you know...
Everything.
Yeah.
Every other cause out there, but they refuse
Or
to light
random
up.
holidays, things like that. and-
No. So I mean, we tried again, and just they're basically refusing.
Right.
So I don't know if it's. They used the word last year that they felt like they were bullied by us, which is, how do you bully something that's not tangible? My letter to them was very nice, and as nice as I could possibly be.
Right.
But it's a big corporation, and you know, like I said, a lot of stuff going on that's not okay.
Right. I want to read a few more viewer comments. Cynthia, thinking of you and your beautiful family. Maya. Tree saying, face it, medical professionals don't care about us. What is it to benefit them? I always end up scrolling all the way to the bottom. Here we go. Eduardo, the ACS is complete bullshit. And
Oh,
laugh
yes.
at them when they ask me for money by the Walmart entrance.
American Cancer
Cancer
Society
Society
is probably one of my least favorite charities out
So
there.
let's, I mean,
They donate less than a penny of every dollar to childhood cancer, but yet they are not afraid to put our little kids out there with these bald heads and, you know, try to get money that way and use their little sweet faces. But
And all they have to say is, some proceeds go, and that's kind of the
and
loophole.
talk about inflated salaries over there. It's disgusting. Disgusting. It's, you know. I'm going to be nice, as nice as I can right now,
That's right.
but I get very fired up about them as well.
Right. Tree, my son is my life. Literally, if something were to happen to him I wouldn't want to live in, I probably wouldn't live. Eduardo, Maya, I wish the best of luck for your foundation.
Thanks,
Rachel
Eduardo.
says, I agree. My kids are my life. I admire Maya. Wow, you are so strong, Maya. I'm not a Taylor Swift fan, but what a beautiful gesture from Joss out in Canada.
How can you not be a Taylor Swift fan?
I don't know. I mean,
She is-
people have different opinions. I mean, they know.
But just
I'm
as a
kind of
human
upset.
being, I'm telling you, she is one of the most amazing human beings on the planet.
Oh, I'm with you. I
Everybody
mean,
needs to be a Taylor
I'm with
Swift
you.
fan.
I was a Taylor Swift fan for, I think, I discovered Teardrops on my guitar in November 2007.
Okay,
so I'm like,
you're a Swiftie.
I saw her in concert when people were going to her concerts wearing cowboy hats and cowboy boots
See?
still, like back in the day. Yeah, so I get it. But now it's just amazing to me to see how much she's evolved in terms of her fame and how large it's grown and how humble she has stayed and how sincere
Yeah.
she has stayed despite being so
With all this fame and power, the thing about Taylor is she has all this power, yet all she wants to do is empower other people.
it's amazing.
It's amazing.
It's really cool. And again, especially looking at, other people that are considered, I guess, peers within her age group or, kind of came up on fame around the same time, you see a lot of them kind of falling into traps. And I know so many of the people I've talked to in this newsroom, moms like Andrea Robinson, for example, Celeste, they've talked about how Taylor Swift is, one of the few people out there that can actually be a good role model for their kids.
She's the best
You
role
know,
model.
it's
I
like-
mean, you can't get a better role model than that.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And it's not like she's trying to be. This is just who she is. You
and
know?
you have a daughter. Her name is Poppy.
Poppy.
And was it true
Yes.
that Taylor Swift helped name her?
Yes.
Can I hear this story? This sounds so.
Sure. So I found out I was pregnant with my daughter when I was 5 weeks along, and I was reading about what was going on with, the baby at that time, and it was the size of a poppy seed. So I just, on my blog and in life in general, just started referring to this baby as Poppy. And then I found out it was a girl. And, Poppy kind of was just more going to be a nickname. And I ended up seeing Taylor in New York when I was pregnant and had just found out it was a girl, and she's rubbing my belly. And I looked at Taylor and I was like, what am I going to name her? Because I've had 3 boys. And
Right.
never thought I was going to have a girl. And Taylor looked at me and she goes, what do you mean? You have to name her Poppy. That's what you've been calling her this whole time. And I was like, done.
So she still follows your blog and everything.
Yeah,
Aw.
done. So that sealed the deal on
I
Poppy
feel
not
like
being a nickname.
I would have probably
Her
named her
real
after
name.
Taylor Swift at that point.
know,
Like, I would name her Taylor.
I know.
Because.
Then I thought that might be a little creepy. So
Kind of. But I like that she told you had to name her Poppy. That's really. And I read you just wrote this blog post about the whole Taylor Swift experience, about how she was just dancing around and just loving the concert.
she's a little 2-year-old. I mean, I wasn't sure how she was going to
Some of the
react
photos.
to, the lights and cameras and music. But
Can we find a picture?
Oh, Poppy.
Which one should I pull up?
of Poppy at the concert.
Yeah, I mean, you have so many pictures on your Instagram.
I love Instagram.
Mama Maya, if you guys want to find her on Instagram.
I
That right here?
That was, and Taylor was so cute. She wanted to see us before the concert because she thought if she waited until 11 o'clock, Poppy
Right.
was going to be asleep. Oh no, Poppy, the party animal, was dancing. I mean, she didn't pass out until we got home from after the concert.
You know what? I will say that concert is an adrenaline rush,
It
and
is.
you're up at least an extra 2.5 hours just because you're just so energetic. Is this?
Oh, that's her and I dancing, yes.
That's cute. That's really cute.
She's like a little Swiftie. I mean, she's a
Yeah.
huge Taylor Swift fan, loves all of her music.
That's so cute. Oh my gosh, that's great. That's really cute. And that's her right there in this picture.
That's Poppy.
And these are your other
Those are my twin boys. They're 12, yes. Liam and Quinn.
Oh,
Poppy.
very. Just,
And my husband, who people say looks like Blake Shelton.
I see it. I can see that. Are you a big Blake Shelton fan?
I do love him. I think he's adorable.
Country music is very. I'm a big fan of country music as well. But then we're here, though. I mean, looking at
I know.
just this on the screen right here, these facts that kind of just come across the string, and these are a lot of the things that you don't hear about very often.
No, you don't hear about it at all. And it's, like I said, it's a discussion that needs to be happening in this country. And why will the White House not light up gold for these kids?
Right.
They change out their lights all the time, for breast cancer, for,
So many
every
different
other
things.
cause. But same thing. I had a petition with hundreds of thousands of signatures, and it was denied. Why can't you change out your lights to gold? And it's, like I said, it's an awareness thing. People need to understand what the color gold represents.
Right. And it's just, I guess it's just things like this, you writing your blog, getting the word out there.
Yeah.
And it's
Doing
so
the best I
important.
can do, while still being a grieving mom, because I am still
The pain never goes away.
It never goes away.
Right.
It doesn't go away over time. It doesn't get better. You just, you learn to live with this.
Right. I'm going to read a few more questions because I know we have to wrap things up soon. But cancer sucks. We need to let science continue fighting. Why just light up? Why can't they donate as well?
Yeah, that's the whole point. The awareness, equals donations.
Right. If people know why it's lit up a
Yes.
certain way, they'll
Yeah.
be more aware of it. And then, he does look like Blake Shelton. And if they can light up for gay marriage, why can't they light up for childhood cancer?
I know. I'm so happy about that, though. Like, I loved that moment in
Right.
history. I did.
She is definitely a respectful person, Taylor Swift. I'm a fan of hers as a human. I just don't like her music. The ACS will one day pay for all their lies, Eduardo chiming
I
in.
love Eduardo.
Yeah, he's very passionately
He's great.
against the American Cancer Society. And they love Poppy. Very cute. Is there really no way to screen for neuroblastoma? Hella asks.
There is a urine test, but neuroblastoma will only show up if it's stage very late. And they did like a whole study over, and I think it was China, where they did do this for a while, and it just did not change any of the results for the outcome of the disease. So, it's, there's symptoms. I've had people with, that have discovered this by excessive vomiting, or like I said, the little black eye or the droopy eye. It'll present itself in time. It's just normally it's too late, like in Ronan's case, which is so scary and
sad.
so horrific.
What is the survival rate with neuroblastoma?
Very low. So with Ronan, we were given about a 30% chance of survival. And then the really scary thing is kids that do have neuroblastoma and they go into remission, they have a very high chance of relapsing. And once you relapse from this disease, there's no cure at all.
It's so awful. Well, Maya, thank you so much for coming by and sharing your story. We'd love to have you back in the newsroom in September.
Love to come back. Yes.
Especially.
This was so fun today.
It was really fun to have you.
It's a hard subject, but
It's but I think
good to
people
talk
need to know about it, and the cancer is a very difficult thing to talk about. And it's so crazy. I feel like I scroll through Facebook, and on any given day, I know someone who's dealing with it, either personally within their family or their friends, and it's whether it's a small child or an adult, cancer's affecting everyone. So thank you so much for sharing your story. I'm going to leave the website up for the Ronan Thompson Foundation viewers. Feel free to go to it, RonanThompsonFoundation.com. You can also find Maya online, right? Your Mama Maya on Instagram.
Mama Maya on Instagram.
And Rockstar Ronan on Twitter, right?
Rockstar Ronan on Twitter, and then my blog is rockstarronan.com.
Right. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
And thanks, guys, for asking those questions. I'll be back with you in just a minute. All right, guys, it looks like some breaking news. I'm going to go ahead and take you guys there live right now.